In this three-part video series, we'll explore how participatory budgeting in families can help parents teach financial literacy to their children through three common family activities: planning a vacation, making charitable donations, and making some home improvements. You can do all of these activities for free in the First Root platform for participatory budgeting. Register for your account at www.firstroot.co. This video will focus on planning a vacation. We'll start with an overview of financial literacy and then explain participatory budgeting. Then we'll outline specific financial concepts that you can explore with your family as you plan your family vacation. Let's start with financial literacy. Financial literacy is simply the ability to manage financial resources effectively for a lifetime of financial well-being. It's a great goal, isn't it? A lifetime of financial well-being? Man, that sounds appealing. The problem is that teaching financial literacy can be really hard for parents because while children observe our behavior, they may not yet understand the financial concepts and personal values that drive this behavior. For example, your children may not understand all of the ways that you spend your money in your budget or why you're saving for the future. Because financial literacy is a life skill, we need to share with our children the reasons why we're spending money a certain way and build in them the skills and the knowledge so that they can do this effectively when they become adults. At its heart, financial literacy is a life skill based on three components: financial knowledge, which consists of an understanding of important financial concepts, such as interest rates and taxes or credit and credit reports and loans. Financial skills, which are the things we need to do to participate in an increasingly complex financial system. Some examples include researching the total cost of a product or a service, comparing and making investments, balancing a checkbook, or determining how much money we'll actually make in the jobs we take. Financial dispositions and values, such as how we feel about taking a risk or whether or not we want our investments to align to our personal beliefs. These beliefs, such as caring for the environment or helping those who are less fortunate, influence all aspects of our financial decision-making and represent an important opportunity for parents to convey more than money to their children. That sounds like a lot of information to cover, but don't worry. Teaching financial literacy to children is easy when you involve them in concrete activities like planning a vacation through participatory budgeting. So what is this thing called participatory budgeting? At its heart, participatory budgeting in a family is a process in which the entire family meets and decides together how to spend a shared budget. To make sure everyone is included, and to give parents opportunities to teach important aspects of financial literacy, the participatory budgeting process proceeds in 5 stages. The first stage is planning. This is the stage in which parents or guardians explain the process, determine the budget, outline any ground rules for the program, and determine who is involved. For example, it is unlikely that you'll include a baby in participatory budgeting, but you may want to include grandparents or other extended members of the family. The second stage is ideation. This is where family members get to create ideas that are relevant to the topic. For example, in planning a family vacation, you might want to think about the activities that you want to do while on vacation or the places you want to visit. In planning charitable donations, you might want to think about the specific charities that you'd like to support. And in thinking about a home improvement, you might want to explore what ideas you have to make your home better. The next phase is refinement, where you take the initial proposals and you refine them. For example, you determine the actual total cost and whether your budget can afford it. You also start to understand whether or not the ideas can be completed in a time frame that is acceptable. The next phase is voting, where the family meets together and actually explores the proposals that are deemed best for the family and votes on which proposals they want to move forward with. The last stage is also the stage that's the most fun. It's implementation. It's where you get to take a vacation, you get to make charitable donations, and you get to improve your home. You get to see the results of all this shared work. Now that we've covered financial literacy and participatory budgeting, let's explore how participatory budgeting to plan a family vacation can give parents an opportunity to teach some important financial concepts. Here are some important financial concepts that the entire family can explore through participatory budgeting when planning a family vacation. The first is, what is the budget? How do we establish it? And how do we increase it? For example, is it acceptable to take a loan for a vacation? Some families will say no because they would consider the vacation an optional thing that is not associated with a long-term investment. Other families have different perspectives, and they feel that it is at times acceptable to take a loan. You will need to determine which of these is appropriate for your family and explore the ramifications of what it might mean to take a loan for a vacation. Another option for that budget is, should we save for the family vacation? Establishing a separate bank account or putting money aside each month into the stock market gives you an opportunity to both save for the family vacation and explore how your money is working. For example, if you were to put the money in the stock market, you'd be exposing your family vacation money to stock market risk, which is typically higher than putting the money into a bank account, but it may not return as much money. You could also consider all of your family expenses and lower certain expenses to increase the amount that you're saving for your family vacation. Now, when you get into the proposals of what you might do on your family vacation, you start to have an opportunity to teach the concept of mandatory versus optional spending. For example, if you're going to a more exotic destination, somewhere you might have to take a plane flight to, you're going to have to pay for plane tickets. You might even need to pay a visa or even pay for vaccines or shots to prepare for the trip. If you were to stay local, well, you might have lower mandatory spending, which gives you more opportunities for optional spending. And you want to look at the total vacation budget to determine what parts are mandatory and what parts are optional. Another important financial concept is all or nothing budget items. What I mean by this is that if you're going to go to an amusement park, you're probably going to need a ticket for every member of the family and include the entire price of all of the tickets in the budget line item. If you go to the amusement park, you're once again including optional spending because you're probably going to want to get some food and maybe even some souvenirs at the park. Establishing that budget in advance is a critical part of planning the vacation. Finally, there's the notion of dependent expenses that are associated with a certain activity. If you're going to go to the park, again, there are some dependent expenses that you want to be very clear about. For example, there may be rides that you want to take that are not part of the ticket, but are associated with the park expense. Understanding these expenses enable you to plan a proper family vacation. We hope you've enjoyed learning how you can use participatory budgeting to teach financial literacy while planning a family vacation. Remember to register for your free account at www.firstroot.co and watch our other videos on how you can use participatory budgeting to plan charitable donations and home improvements.